Watching business now on IBrandTV Lagos. We continue with the rest of the news. The United Nations, through its Food and Agriculture Organization, has described rice production by smallholder farmers in Nigeria as a fantastic job. It said that though there was still a lot that should be done in the agriculture sector in Nigeria, the country had made considerable progress in rice production. The Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations Assistant Director General and Regional Representative for Africa, Abebe Haile-Gabriel, disclosed this at a press briefing in Abuja on Wednesday. Haile-Gabriel and the FAO Deputy Director of the Office of Emergencies and Resilience, Shukri Ahmed, are in Nigeria on a high-level mission to strengthen solidarity and amplify the voice of humanitarian actors in advocating support to stem food insecurity across the country. Now to Africa scene. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has allayed the fears of Ghanaians on the back of reports that discussions were set to begin on the restructuring of the country's debt as part of plans to secure a $3 billion loan from the fund. The Bretton Woods institution insists the restructuring of Ghana's debt will be dependent on the outcome of its debt sustainability analysis report. This comes at a time where many are speculating that the government might begin to restructure its local debt markets and hence might experience an economic shutdown. Responding to the questions on to whether the government of Ghana needs a debt restructure, the IMF Director of Communications, Gary Rice, in a news conference in Washington, D.C., noted that the IMF still needs to conduct a thorough update of the debt situation in Ghana through our debt sustainability analysis. Now, Ghana has recorded $731.94 million for the first half of 2022, representing 93.4% of the 2021 annual petroleum revenue of $783.33 million. The figure, $51.39 million less than petroleum revenue for the entire year of 2021, indicated a 73.73% increase in the projected petroleum revenue for the year and a 108.89% increase in receipts for the first half of 2021, which was $350.3 million. The Public Interest and Accountability Committee disclosed in its 11th semi-annual report the significant rise in the revenue is mainly due to the sharp increase in the price of crude oil on the world market in the first half of 2022. The committee's 22nd statutory report, which was launched on Tuesday, showed that $190.44 million was earned from royalty, with carried and participating interest earnings $354.2 million. Meanwhile, corporate income tax accounted for $186.34 million as surface rental generated $687,759.16, with income on Petroleum Holding Fund, PHF, accounting for $304,613 million. Now to foreign news. Leading OPEC members have begun discussions about our oil output cuts at the group's next meeting on October the 5th, through sources told Reuters. One OPEC source told Reuters a cut was likely, while two OPEC sources said the members have spoken about the topic. A source familiar with Russian thinking told Reuters earlier this week that Moscow could suggest a cut of up to 1 million barrels per day. The latest comments suggest that key OPEC members have started communicating over the matter, although the volume of any potential cut is still unclear. Next week's meeting takes place against a backdrop of falling oil prices from multi-year highs hit in March and severe market volatility. Oil prices fell on Thursday with a stronger dollar, pairing the previous day's more than $3 gain, though losses were capped by indications that the OPEC producer group might cut output. Brent crude futures fell $1.18, or 1.3%, to $88.14 a barrel by 0823 GMT, and U.S. crude futures dropped by $1.11 or 1.4% to $81.04. Both benchmarks rebounded in the previous two sessions from 9-month lows earlier in the week, buoyed by a temporary dive in the dollar index and a larger than expected U.S. fuel inventory drawdown. However, the dollar index rose again on Thursday, dampening investor risk appetite and stoking recession fears. The Bank of England said it is committed to buying as many long-dated government bonds as needed between Wednesday and October 14 to stabilize its currency after the British government's budget plans announced last week sent sterling tumbling. Now, former Bank of England Governor Mark Carney has accused the government of undercutting the UK's key economic institutions. Carney told the BBC the government's tax-cutting measures were working at some cross purposes with the bank. He also pointed to a decision not to publish economic forecasts by the Office for Budget Responsibility alongside Friday's mini-budget. The mini-budget sparked turmoil on financial markets and hit the pound. Investors had been demanding a much higher return for investing in government bonds, causing some to halve in value. Pension funds which invest in bonds were forced to start selling, sparking fears of fresh market downturn. The Bank of England was forced to step in to calm markets on Wednesday and said it would buy £65 billion of government bonds over the next fortnight in an attempt to restore stability. Omobolale will step in here shortly to bring you more of the news. Stay with us.